This week's skill of the week is radical acceptance. This can be one of the most powerful skills that any of us learn and use, but also one of the most difficult. Radical acceptance is about truly accepting your reality. Now, that's not the same as liking your reality. It's accepting exactly as things are in that moment. And maybe how things are is full of sadness, or full of guilt, or full of frustration, but we're accepting things as they are. JD, Maris, I'd love to hear more about how you each have used radical acceptance or how you've used it with the families and patients that you've been helping. JD, do you want to start us out?
Yeah, I think radical acceptance is just the foundational value for doing this. This is hard. It's uncomfortable. It's awful. It's not what any of us want to be doing. And for me, radical acceptance really came down to an energy saving sort of strategy. So if I was spending energy resisting where I was, resisting what I had to do, then I was less effective in doing what I needed to do. So once I did what I call embrace the suck and realized it sucks. It just sucks, and it's gonna suck, and it's gonna keep sucking, and the only reason it's not gonna suck is if I get past this. And so I'm gonna just accept it's where I am. I'm gonna like sort of clear my calendar, all of that sort of stuff. I'm gonna recalibrate what I expect of my interactions with my child and my family for this time. I'm just gonna dedicate myself to spending some time just focused on fighting the eating disorder. And it was really, really effective. And then what happened was, because I was more effective, we actually had more good times. And I was able to then like seize on those good times and be in that moment as well. So
I like how honest you were with yourself. Like, I think all of us have been there where we are like, oh, I'm going to go through chemotherapy and run a marathon. Like, no, we'd never recommend someone does that.
yeah.
But we commit to too many things. And it sounds like radical acceptance allowed you to be honest with yourself. Like, okay, if I'm going to do this big task of saving my daughter's life, I can't do these 18 other things. I'd love to hear from the patients that you help's perspective. Like, where have you seen patients either use radical acceptance, or you're like, oh, I wish they would just radically accept and they would feel so much better. They'd get the relief from suffering.
What comes to mind around this is this skill can be really helpful in noticing where you might be standing in your own way a little bit. And growing up, my parents would always say, you can't always control the situation you're in, but you can play a role in how you react to it. And I hated when they said that, because I was like, but it's not fair, but it shouldn't be happening this way. But what they were teaching me was radical acceptance. And I think when we're able to just accept that this is the situation we're in, like you were saying, JD, we can be more effective, but we can also identify where we might be making it worse. So like that metaphor of you pushing and expending a bunch of energy trying to move a brick wall probably isn't going to move the brick wall, but it's going to make you tired, and it's going to make you worn out and frustrated. And so I think we can identify where we're expending energy trying to move an immovable brick wall, where we could be trying other things that are actually more soothing and effective.
I absolutely love that example. Like, you can be mad that the wall is there all you want, and you can try to move it, but the wall is still going to be there. But if you radically accept it, you could be at peace with it. Love it. Well, thank you so much for sharing those examples. Thanks for joining us today as we talk about radical acceptance. I hope that you've enjoyed what you've learned today. Take care.